Hello and welcome. My name is TyrionLanstr. So we're officially done. We have gotten the results in. We have finished the season 7 of the Ultimate Conquest, and champion was Run. Pretty much no surprises there. I think that this round pretty much went as most people would have expected it to. Run pretty much destroyed them. I will say it was kind of interesting to me. Run seemed to win a lot of the races, and I'll touch on that in a second. But I wanted to just kind of take a second, take a look at my predictions, talk about how I did, and then I want to just give kind of a preview to everyone of where I see UC going, and kind of what my reflections are on this whole season. I think that I hope that people care to listen. I feel like I have the perspective of someone that participated in MAD during UC, so I do understand what a lot of these high strategy alliances are doing. I also am in Tough, so I do with a lower level alliance that we're still pretty strong, but you know I'm not with MAD all the time. But without further ado, just taking a look at the predictions real quick. I was really happy with how I did. I think that I was perfect until the N3OKC and IKW BDR rounds. I'll be honest, I just didn't realize just what a difference it was going to make, like being good at strategy over straight power. I thought the KAC and IKW wouldn't have much trouble with these just because I figured their power would overrule over strategy. But that really messed me up, so that meant this whole block was going to be wrong, and this whole block was inevitably going to be wrong. And then my last kind of wrong prediction was just the Mad KAC. I thought we were going to be able to beat KAC, but we didn't. It was a fun match, though, really, really close. Probably could have gone either way. Had a couple other things gone our way, so I'm not really mad about it at all. But so really fun. Like I said, I'm pretty sure other than that N3O KAC and IKW BDR, pretty much had most of it right. And just that one thing kind of really messed me up. But anyway, that was kind of how I did on that. Obviously, run one. Just to kind of talk about where teams are right now, I actually do think that this is a pretty good representation of where I think the alliances are. I think run is probably at the top. I think between KC, BDR, and MAD, it's kind of a really interesting situation because you've got MAD beat BDR in the last round. Then MAD lost to KAC. Then BDR beat KAC, but again, BDR lost to MAD. So it's kind of this fun triangle of death of who's the top. I think arguments can be made for any of the three. I think KAC obviously has more power, but they definitely make more mistakes. MAD and BDR play pretty smart, and it really comes down to just races who can get in buildings first. And I will say that it's interesting. I think that racing has become so much more important now. I mean, if you look at the MAD KAC match, MAD lost because Peacetown got into the far port right off the bat. Like, that's just devastating. That's so hard for us to deal with. We're never going to be able to kick him out. And similarly, in BDR versus KAC, BDR was able to get pretty much every race. They won pretty much every race, and so they put whoever they wanted wherever they wanted, and it just allowed them to be constantly moving around KAC, and you just can't rally as quickly as people can occupy buildings that fast. So I thought that was interesting. I think run is where it kind of breaks the mold. When you watch that run versus BDR match, you can just tell the difference. I mean, they just have too many massive leads. Like, doesn't matter how much Burgle wants to spend. Like, you just can't really keep up with the sheer number of run mega whales that they have. It overwhelms you eventually. I mean, look, it's just Doodoo is 11th, EK 13th. Like, what? Like, that's just ridiculous. That's just not an alliance worth competing with. And to that end, I see the whole mega whale alliances becoming a little bit less popular, just to the effect of I don't know, if I were in run, I would have found this to be really boring, and KAC the fact that they lost to N3O and then BDR, I would be so like, okay, what's the point then? Like, why be in this crazy mega whale alliance if we're not if we're gonna lose to these alliances that are way smaller than us? I mean, you look at BDR, they were at what, like 60 million, beating KAC with 76, and KAC's 76 is like much stronger. That's a stronger alliance in every way than BDR, and yet BDR beat them like pretty soundly. They to be fair, like KAC did beat Mad. Now I will give them that win, but like it was a close match. And anyone would admit that a couple things go differently, and that's a very different match. But I think that on the whole, what I think about like the next season of AC is that I expect most alliances are going to be doing some form of the swapping that's going on. It's just too effective not to, and doing it at the very least on like far ports. And I think that with the changes that they made to rally size, which I think was a phenomenal change, it just made the game so much better and more about strategy and less about soloing. It means that it gives the opportunity for weaker alliances to beat a much stronger one, like we've seen happen multiple times this season. And I do think that's an overall good thing, but I'm curious as to what changes are going to be made to, in my opinion, placate the IKW and KACs of the world, where, like, if you're IKW, like, you know, I just imagine them being really disappointed with this showing that they lost to BDR, considering they're a 91 billion alliance and they're losing to a 60 billion. Like, that's just, you should have wiped the floor with them and you didn't. And I can see that being very demoralizing for them and tough to come back from. I mean, they just had so much power. Like, how do you not do better? And it's because they weren't coordinated. And I just, the biggest thing is, I feel like we've learned the importance of Discord and like an English speaking alliance that's all able to use Discord together and be coordinated in that way. And I think that some of the foreign alliances really hit walls because they're not able to coordinate at that level. And that sucks. Like, that shouldn't, on of course I enjoy that because I think it's a fun part of the game, but I see that being really upsetting and frustrating if I were someone that didn't speak fluent English and couldn't be in an alliance like that. That would really take away from the gameplay. So I'm curious as to whether the devs are going to do something to change it back to allow for more solos, or just for to allow whales to have a bigger impact. But I kind of hope they don't. I think that this season was really fun, and I hope that people in Run were bored and decide to go to other alliances and join their own, and it can be a little more competitive. But I think that some of these matches were so much fun this year. I mean, I think that the N3O versus KAC match that happened back here was so much fun. This N3O versus BDR match was awesome. I thought Mad versus CTP was a lot of fun. Like, we kind of crushed them, but I thought it was fun. Um, N3O versus KAC again here was pretty interesting. Mad versus KAC was amazing. That, like, I think most people think that was the best match of the season. That was so much fun. BDR versus KAC was also a good match. But like, the final was boring. Like, Run literally did not have a single challenger this entire time, except for this match where like BDR was trying, but like, I mean, they were like sort of trying. Like, Run won all the races, and BDR like knows better than to like really go super hard for something they're bound to lose. I mean, look at this. Like, 57 people come in for BDR in this match. I mean, yeah, we had 80 people in, but like, Mad, we had an agreement with them where they were letting them get to 80, and then they were letting us get as many points back as we wanted. Like, that's, we had no intention of really fighting them. I mean, CTP like fought them, but CTP wasn't like going hard spending. If you look at the healing, like, there was, okay, a couple people, sure, but like, those healing points are not even that crazy. Like, I don't know, that very clearly CTP wasn't trying super hard to go crazy and win that. I mean, RUI, I don't think was ever really a threat to them. I don't know, like, it's just I find it just like if I were in run, I'd be a little bit like, okay, cool, we won. You know, we get these awesome rewards. Um, which I mean, yeah, like it's great. Like I would love 4 warrior summons and 20 Simon medals, but the rest of this is basically the same as what everyone else is getting. Like getting 2,000 more diamonds, 40 more marked the true dragon, and then a one more blue badge basically worth. You know, sure, like that's great. Like that, those are good rewards, and it is better to be in first than second. I would not mind taking those rewards, but I don't know that it's like fun. Like I think that this was probably a pretty dull couple of weeks for them, and I think that being in a smaller alliance was not that mad small, but I thought that was so much fun. Like we just had an awesome time, and I thought our matches were really really close and really interesting. Like just looking at Mad, like yeah, that one we lost, but it was so much fun. CTP, oh my god, that round felt really good. We didn't try against Run. This one against FDH felt great though. Like we're 80K'ing FDH and CTP. Like that's so much fun. Like we love that. Um, so yeah, I mean that's kind of my closing thoughts. Sorry for the bit of a rant, but I just think that I don't know. I think that AC is still super fun and an amazing, amazing event. I just really hope that they don't change it too much to placate the whales that are upset because this was definitely the season of strategy over whales, and that's awesome. Like I love that, but I don't know whether they'll let it last. I'll also mention really quickly that this predictions I was right about all of them, with the exception of this match between Run and BDR. I didn't know that BDR was going to straight up totally give up. But just to put things in perspective, if BDR had even just like had the minimum people, I think that Run would not have met the quota because they would have needed, they got to get to like 23,000 basically. I mean, they probably would have gotten there, right? Like if they're trying even a little bit, like you look at here, they're trying. They definitely made it. I mean, that was easy. So, wagers went pretty well. I would, I'm happy to publish those next time so people can see who I'm betting on. Hopefully that helps. But yeah, the prediction shop still kind of lame. I wish they had more stuff here, but got what I got. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. Looking forward to next season. Definitely getting excited. We've got Siege of Winterfell Season 3 coming up. I'm anxious to see what changes they made to Siege of Winterfell. It was really fun, but, I think that they're kind of facing similar problems that they did with past AC seasons. So we'll have to wait and see, but I'm definitely excited about it. Anyway, until next time, this is TyrionLanstr. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.